Hi. So it's been, I don't even know how long it's been since I posted. Feels like a year because that's how life has been going. There's a lot that's been happening, and I have thoughts, so I'm going to share them here because they're driving me nuts. So basically, number one, we just all know that there's chaos in the world, and we've gotten used to that. It's our normal. But the reality of it is, it's not normal. Never has been, never should have been. What I see is slowly becoming the new normal is a lot of us waking up to the fact that we are in a situation in a world that this stuff's just not like shit's not normal right now. Let's just be very clear about that. And it doesn't matter where you are. It everything that's happening right now just isn't. It's not normal. It's chaos. And the worst part of it is it's designed chaos. I was watching a documentary, Gaia TV, about the Ascension Keepers. I don't care what your beliefs are. I believe in the truth of words, the meaning of words, the power behind them. And one of the episodes broke down the etymology of the term apocalypse, and it just stuck with me. And it's been 24 hours since I saw that, and I can't get it out of my head. So I'm going to share with you what the term apocalypse actually means. So bear with me. I'm going to read a few things really quickly because that's the best way I can start this. The term apocalypse comes from the Greek word apocalypsis, meaning something revealed or an unveiling. The origin of the word apocalypse is the ancient Greek word, as I said, meaning revelation or unveiling. It's lifting the veil. It's uncovering what's been hidden. It's truth. And what's happened is that term has been bastardized, tainted, misused, written by people who all look like people who are in power right now for the use of fear. And so we've seen it in the book of Revelations. We've seen my computer just binged saying, yep, you're right. I mean, that's not really what it says. It's a password protection thing. Regardless, I take everything as something that's not a coincidence, not something to be taken lightly. So when I hear little things like my computer going off a little da-doom, it's usually because I'm onto something. And I think a lot of you have experienced that in the past. There's a stirring, a waking up from within. Not people telling you what's going on, but that inner da-doom, like you just heard on my computer, if the sound's good enough to have picked that up. If not, it's the same sound that your computer makes when it's about to run out of battery. Regardless, that inner stirring, that truth, the questions that you have about what you see around you, that's the veil lifting. That's you starting to see through the bullshit that is constantly being fed to us through the news, you know, the constant Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because, and I've said this before in earlier posts, you feel the ick, you know what's wrong. And that's the apocalypse. It's the lifting of the veil. It's the uncovering of the truth. Now, why has it been used in such a negative way? It's been used to talk about the end of the world. It's it's apocalypse, Armageddon's going to happen, and I haven't even got into the etymology of Armageddon because I'm going to start with the apocalypse, and I can go on for a long time about my thoughts about that, but I'm going to keep this as brief as I can for now. What's happening is that we have distraction after distraction being thrown at us. We got immigrants coming into this country taking our jobs. No one's taking anything, and everyone's an immigrant for the most part in every country right now, especially America, the place that used to pride itself on taking in your weak, your poor, your whatever, built on the backs of stolen people while also stealing land of native people. And now you want to ship everyone away to where? Where? It's bullshit. So then we get all these other distractions. Well, what about the Epstein files? Well, yeah, the people in power, we all know this. They're a bunch of rapists, pedophiles, just criminals, quite frankly. And they can all be shipped to Epstein's Island and go and die there as far as I'm concerned, because they are useless. The only thing that they have done is create a veil of fear. And they do that through making people afraid of people who don't look alike. They do that by trying to place everyone in boxes, to make people dress the way that they feel that they should dress, speak the way that they feel they should speak, get this education, which they are now just tearing down because they don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to hear that inner stirring, those questions that you have. And if you start asking questions, they're going to distract you with some other shit, like a war somewhere else that has nothing to do with you or the people even physically on the ground fighting the war. It's this tiny group of people who have created this thick veil through fear and separation and division. That's racism, that's sexism, that's misogyny, it's a lot of things. Because, and if you go back into my earlier videos, I say this, babies are not born to hate other babies because they're afraid of the fact that that baby looks different. They just want love. They are taught to fear. They are taught to hate. They are taught to put other people down because of differences. And that's how the veil starts. It starts through generations of bullshit. And that stems from greed. Because, I mean, quite frankly, whose war is anyone fighting? Thousands of years go back to a lot of these wars. Does anyone know why anymore? Besides what they're being told? But at some point, that veil's going to have to lift. Everyone's going to get really tired of inflation, of not being able to pay for things, of possibly being deported because of how you look. And when those people are deported because of how they look or they speak a different language, and the people who've been silent about it are like, yeah, well, that wasn't affecting me. Guess who they're going to come for next for whatever stupid ass reason? You. They don't want you to think about it, so they just throw distractions again. But at some point, you're going to be the only one left, and people are going to come from you unless they get you to work like a slave for not a lot of money, with increasingly high rent, mortgage rates, everything. And then when you can no longer afford to do anything, or you decide to have the freedom to do what you want to do and try to earn a living, you're a problem. Then you become homeless and destitute. And that's not really the reality. You just decided, hey, I don't have to keep doing what you tell me to do. The inner stirring that you feel, that ick that you feel, that is the truth past stupid ass veil. But right now we're just so distracted by everything. I mean, quite frankly, I really don't give a shit what kids are dyeing their hair right now on TikTok. It's dumb. I'm here trying to make sure that my gray is the best gray because it's me. It's who I am. And every person is beautiful for who they are, what they think, what they feel, not the stuff that they're taught that they have to think or feel, but the natural feeling that comes from within. Everyone's seeking validation out there. But the reality is, this is what a lot of people don't want you to know, it's that you're already beautiful as you are. You were born beautiful. You were born amazing. And people want you to feel less than because it distracts from the reality. And that reality is greed. It's just ugliness. And I'm not talking about whatever someone told you is physically ugly. It's within. And the people who are perpetuating all of this fear, separation, anxiety, just horrible things that are going on around the world, they're afraid to look within because they don't want to see the truth. They have actually tricked themselves into thinking that they know all and they're powerful because they have all of these things. But why do they keep needing more things? And why do they keep making us try to work harder to get them more things? Because there's emptiness inside. So here's something that I came to realize a while back. And then after I was looking at this documentary on Gaia, the beauty that came out of the pandemic was stillness. Everyone had to stop. And the earth came alive again. It's magical. People became more creative. They became more supportive. People started banding together to do better, to be better. They started realizing that we don't have to work these crazy work weeks to be efficient. Not only could we do the jobs that we had to do, we could do them even better with rest. And in the time that we had outside of that 40-hour, 60-hour, 80-hour work week, people started to create beautiful things. And then boom, don't wear masks. That's bad. You should be stronger than that. It's not America. I mean, it's just stupid bullshit. And then people's creativity and their voice and their power got stifled. The veil became thicker and the earth kind of shriveled back up into itself because people went back to what they were usually doing. But here's the best part. It doesn't have to stay that way. We've seen what can happen when we all come together to do better. It's time for everyone to collectively wake up. Lift the veil. I love The Walking Dead for a lot of reasons. I mean, I don't like how everything ended because, I mean, Andrew Lincoln tried his best. He's an amazing actor, but I mean, damn. Don't get me started. That's a whole different subject. But one of the terms that came out of that, that's actually been around for a very long time, is the zombie apocalypse. But here's the thing. An apocalypse is not bad. It's actually amazing. It's when you wake up from all of the BS, not just the bullshit, but the belief systems that we've been told we have to abide by. And there was a time when things were necessary so that people wouldn't just go around and kill each other. But guess what? It doesn't work anymore. People are doing that right now. The people in power are doing that right now. And we're letting them. Because we've become zombies to everything around us. Nothing affects anyone anymore. Things that are horrible and we know, we feel the ick. We just say, well, it's not me. But one day it will be. It is actually time to wake up. It is time for the human apocalypse. It is time for us to remember what humanity is. What we were born to know and feel, and that is love. Not hate, not greed. We don't need someone that we don't really vote for, because that's a farce nowadays, telling us what to do in these like really insane, creepy ways. Those are the actual zombies, the ones who follow that. And I was talking to someone about this, and they said, well, yeah, I guess we are going through a zombie apocalypse minus all the blood. And I said, what do you mean minus all the blood? Have you not seen what's going on around the world? It's the same thing. So people are just zombies to everything right now. But what they want more of is money. And we're told that that's what's important. So we just look past everything and we step all over each other just to get more of something. And it doesn't make any sense. And it will continue to perpetuate itself, because it's not just something that one or two people do. It becomes like a greedy consciousness. And that needs to be replaced with love. Our natural state. That is how we come into this world, needing, wanting love. And the way that everything is happening right now is the complete opposite. It's a zombie-like state, and I'm ready for us to lift that shitty veil of greed, selfishness, toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. And yeah, I'm talking to you ladies who like to post about, I don't know what it's called, the triad wives or whatever the fuck it is. It's stupid. Everyone can bake a cake and raise kids if they have the means to do so, which is a supporting, loving environment. And you can have a job as well. Stop trying to pigeonhole people into something that's not natural. I mean, God, it's exhausting trying to keep up with whatever everyone's telling you you have to be, when you could just be you and love yourself. And that's step one. I always say, pull on something that brings you joy each day. If you want to make eggs, make eggs. You should have time to do so in the morning so that you have nourishment to go into your shitty job, to make a shitty living for a shitty CEO. And hopefully, while you're making those eggs, you realize, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I going to go sit in 2 hours of traffic, not see my family, not do anything that brings me joy, and I can barely pay rent? Because that is our reality. If we all just stopped for a second and realized we could all do better by loving ourselves, doing things that genuinely make us happy in a wholesome, helpful way, in a nourishing way that feeds our soul. Think about what the world could be. Because I'm really tired of hitting my head up against a brick wall trying to find that perfect job that allows me time with my children while also being able to provide everything they need, and have both parents at home to have dinner with them. All the things that we are told we have to do in order to be successful parents and raise good kids, but we're not allowed to because we're making money for some greedy asshole. I mean, think about how stupid that is. It just baffles me. So it's time for us to wake up and lift the veil. The apocalypse, the revelations of everything. It's this small group of people who don't want us to actually see the truth of why we are where we are right now. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's all the things they warn about us on TV, in the news, in social media. All those things that they tell us are bad, they're warning us about with them. But they're busy pointing the finger at other people who look different and have been labeled as bad because they don't look like them, prescribe to the same things. They're immediately bad, so that's the enemy. And the only way you could be really good is if you followed these steps that they tell you you have to do. And then you end up not being home for your kids, not being able to provide, probably not able to afford health insurance, especially now that they've taken everything away that we actually pay into so that they can make more money. Again, don't get me started on that. But I am challenging humanity right now. Lift the veil. It is time, because this is only going to get worse. And when it keeps getting worse because you've supported just bad actors and you're the only one left, who do you think they're going to come for? We are not separate. We are not different. We are all souls experiencing life right now, and we have choices to be better and do better. Every system right now in this world is breaking down because people are starting to see through what we have been told is the right thing. And every time something else breaks down, there's another distraction over here. It's time to stop looking outwards for the answers and look within. I don't care what your background is. If you've always labeled yourself as a racist because you're proud of whatever racist group you're part of, you felt the ick before. And if you don't feel it now, think about when you started saying that. You felt it. You still feel it. Take a moment of stillness. You don't really feel hate towards others. Look within and find out what it is about yourself that you don't like. And I guarantee you somewhere in there, once you break through that, you're going to find that you don't hate everyone. There's just some healing that has to be done. There's a veil that has to be lifted. It's time to break through that. It's time for your own apocalypse. Because right now, that's what everyone needs. Everyone. The world really needs that. Leaders need rehab. They need to get their heads out of their asses and get back to the origin of what sparked their original notion that they wanted to start something and create something and build something new. Somewhere in there is a nugget of pure joy. And joy comes from love of something. And I'm not talking about love of money. I guarantee you that hardened man who's orange and just full of ugh. He was a baby once. I mean, he's a big man baby now, but he was a baby once too. And probably just wanted love as a baby. Not probably, he did. But greed just crept in. People putting him down, making him feel different, crept in. So what is the defense mechanism there? Doing the same. That's what he knew. And there's someone in everyone's life who they could point to who looks like that. Not just on TV, I mean in your lives. I have gone around to different jobs. And everyone keeps getting shittier because I had an amazing boss before. And, you know, even the places that, actually it's the places that say they are the best, they're the most toxic. Because there's always someone in leadership who has just become so vain. And they have fed into their own bullshit that they can't even see why they started to begin with. But the beginning of where they started was beauty, it was truth, it was love. But they have created such a veil that they don't even know who they are anymore. And if they just listened to people that work for them, and by the way, I don't think anyone works for someone else. We are all humans. We are all equal. We work with each other. And when we realize that, that's part of the veil being lifted. But this whole notion of I did this, I started this, my way is the best. It's at every level, in every company, in schools. It's everywhere. And it's time for a major reset. It's time for people to empathize with themselves. There's so much fear against empathy. People think it makes them weak. It's because they're afraid of their own feelings and to look in the mirror. I have a lot of challenges in this one. But the first one is just stop. Just stop. Breathe. Look around and realize something. Anything. Just look. And what you're probably going to see is, this shit's not right. And start locating your own ick. And when you do, you can start lifting your own veil. I say bring on the apocalypse. But it has to start here, individually, before we can do anything. Because we are walking around like mindless zombies. And we're being told to be afraid of the apocalypse. And I say embrace it. Embrace the truth. Embrace your intuition. Embrace your inner knowing. Rise up out of the ashes of the bullshit that we are around. Because everything's burning and we can all be a phoenix there. But we have to make a choice. And the first choice is to stop. Stop. Be still. Be silent. And listen to your heart. Love yourself. And that's the first step in lifting this negative, horrible veil that we have been living under for so long. I have so many more thoughts, but the biggest one I want to leave you with is there is so much love covered up underneath the hardened hearts that we have just been raised to have over time. It's calcified, but there's still love there. I don't just feel it, I know it. Start trusting yourself, not the self that says, but I'm not this, or but they're not like me. Be comfortable with the things that originally brought you joy as a kid. Play, have fun in life. Pursue the things that your parents told you couldn't pursue because it didn't fit in a gender norm or because you weren't of this class in society, because that's all made up too. Just enjoy life in a way that sparks joy in others. Not hate, love. Lift your veil. Uncover who you truly are, which is a beautiful, loving human with a soul that just wants to express that. And start sharing it. Share it in my comments. I'll try to open it up. I'm still just trying to figure a lot of stuff out. But share it with me via email. You can find me at MICHELE at Phoenixcouncil, PHOENIXCOUNCIL Please feel free. I'm all ears. If you just need to get something out, if you want to learn anything, if you want to talk, let it out. Write, paint, I don't really care. Whatever you have to do to start lifting that veil, do it. I say apocalypse now, because that's what's going to get us through this. It's time. It's time to rise out of the ashes. It's time to remember what we were born to be and come together. That's it for now. Love you all. Thank you.